Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tony Vinchelle with A Stronger You Fitness and the Becoming a Stronger You movement. Sorry, I'm not in my company t-shirt because I'm chilling for the night. So, anyway, I wanted to do a Q&A for you guys. If you don't know me, I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach. I have a degree in biological, thanks for the hearts, and physical sciences with concentrated studies in biochemistry and human metabolism. So, I do metabolism-based meal planning, and I also do personal training and weight loss programs and muscle building programs and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to know what questions you have. Says, thanks for the follow, phone crashed and lost the feed. Oh, no problem, Andy. No worries, man. So I wanted to know what questions you guys had about health, about fitness, about diet. Your belly fat. Okay. All right. Let's talk about it. So, hashtag. Yeah, that's right. Hashtag. Okay, so your belly fat. Let's talk about that. So if you're bringing up belly fat, it's probably because you want to lose it. So this is the thing. Your belly fat is dropped in the kitchen. Okay, it doesn't matter how many ab exercises you do. Says you don't. Okay, it says I do not have a six pack. All right, so that ties in with belly fat. In order for you to be able to see your six pack, you have to get, your entire body has to get lean. For women, it's roughly somewhere around 12%. For men, it could, I have bacon fat. Bacon fat is awesome. It's just not always good for you. And for men, roughly about, 5, 6, 7, 8%. And men can stand to be a lot leaner than women, but that has to be done in the kitchen. And that relates to the topic, in the hashtag on how to create a fat loss diet, right? So if you want to lose your belly fat, says, let's see, my belly is getting between my sex life. Okay. Hi there. Hey there, Michelle. What exercises are best to lose your tummy? Okay. So let's go back. Sorry. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Whoa, hold on. Let me see what happened. Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me now? Let me know. Say yes if you can. Thanks for those purple hearts, whoever that is. Okay, you said yes. Okay. So sorry about that. Okay, I turned on my ringer. I'm totally sorry about that. Okay, so the tummy exercises are going to give you some stamina in your belly. They're going to give you some shape. Thank you. They're going to give you some shape, and make it nice, and it's going to look really nice once it gets lean, and you're going to have endurance. But the tummy exercises are not what are going to flatten your tummy. You've got to do that in the kitchen. So the title of this broadcast is Creating a Fat Loss Diet. So if you want to see your belly, you've got to drop some body fat. So here's what you're going to do. If you have pen and paper, go ahead and get it out, because this is going to be some really good stuff. I did this broadcast before, but I'm not really sure. Thanks so much for those green hearts. I saw green and purple and brown, and thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to take your current body weight, and multiply that by 10. That's going to be the low number. Then you're going to take your current body weight and multiply it by 12. That's going to be your high number. And by low number and high number, I mean the number of calories that you're going to eat. So on the days that you do some really, really good work, really hard back workout, leg workout, that kind of stuff, you're going to eat on the higher number of calories. And then on the days where you don't do as much work, you're going to eat from the lower number of calories. Okay. So that's step 1. Step 2, you want to get about anywhere from 1 to 1.5 times your desired body weight. So remember, the first one was times your current body weight. So now you're going to take 1 to 1.5 times your desired body weight. And that's going to be the number of grams of protein that you need to get on a daily basis every single day, right? Because protein is going to help you with that. You're going to fill in the rest of your calories with carbs and with fat, and you'll need to kind of have an understanding of your metabolism to see what percentage needs to be. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that. What percentage needs to be carbs and what percentage needs to be fat. The other thing you want to do is you want to go out and pick yourself up a fish oil supplement. Now, when you pick up the fish oil supplement, you want to make sure that you read the label. What are you looking for? Number one, you want to make sure that it's GMP certified, because if it's GMP certified, then it means a couple of things. Fish oil is nasty. I know. And it's yeah. I mean, there's just kind of no getting around it. Okay, repeat the goal weight times equal to, okay. So you're going to take your goal weight and multiply it either by 1 or 1.5, somewhere between there, anywhere from 1 to 1.5 grams of, or 1 to 1.5. That, you went to church today, 1 to 1.5, and that's going to give you the number of grams of protein. I apologize for that. So if your desired body weight, let's say, is 135, you're going to take 135 and say I want to do it by 1.2. And it's not arbitrary. Basically, you would need to understand your metabolism and your body type so that you could determine what percentage of your diet needs to be carbs, fat, and protein. So based on that, somewhere between, it's really somewhere between 0.86 and 1.5, but I like to start somewhere between 1 and 1.5 when I'm doing it for my clients. Multiply that, and that's the number of grams of protein that you're going to get. Fill up everything else with carbs and fat. Now, for the fish oil supplement, I know fish oil is gross. And thank you guys again for those hearts. That's really cool. And if you know anybody that you think would benefit from this stuff, please go ahead and feel free to share the broadcast. That would be pretty awesome too. So on the fish oil, you need to see if it's GMP certified. Why is that important? Because if it's GMP certified, it's more than likely made in an FDA approved lab. Yes. It's more than likely made in an FDA approved lab. And what that means is, in order to do that, you have to have good manufacturing practices. The area has to be clean. They have to make sure that, you bring down the probability of contamination almost down to zero, as close down to zero as you can get it. But the other interesting thing about that is that you've got to give 100% disclosure on what's on that bottle. And why is that important? Because if it's not GMP certified, they don't have to disclose to you exactly what's in that bottle. A couple of years ago, there was an issue with a fish oil supplement. It was supposed to have been fish oil, but it turns out, thanks for those red hearts, it turns out that it was snake oil. And a lot of times people don't find out that they're allergic to snake, obviously, unless they're bitten by a snake. And so what happened was there was a young girl that had purchased what she thought was a fish oil supplement. Thanks, Michelle. It was not GMP certified, and so they did not have to disclose what was in the bottle. And it turns out that what was in the oil, it was actually like 85% snake oil and only 15% fish oil. So she had a really, really bad allergic reaction to it, and she almost died. And that was a really huge issue. So you want to check to see if it's GMP certified. The other thing that you want to look for, thanks again for those red hearts. The other thing that you want to look for is to make sure that it's got the EPA and the DHA combined. And you're going to have to read the label for that, whether you get it. It says the retail stores are not regulated. The time of storage and efficacy at the time of bottling is another issue. Time of bottling is a concern, especially when oils can be rancid. And that is absolutely true. When you guys go to these stores, read those dates. And I mean, the most companies don't put the date that the actual product was bottled, but they will put a sell-by date. Like, live by those sell-by dates. It's not like bread, which I know some people go past the date on that. Not me. Live by those dates. And that's the best you're going to be able to do with that. But get the EPA and the DHA together. Make sure that that's together. You want to make sure that you're drinking at least a gallon of water per day. And what you want to do is you want to start off your day with a cup of warm lemon water. It says, if you repeat oils or fish oil, cough, Costco, Kirkland's brands, just be careful. Hey man, look, all I'm going to say is check and make sure that it is GMP certified. And I do not believe those brands, cough, cough, are GMP certified. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You've got to check to see if that stuff is GMP certified. And it's not just, your fish oils, whatever supplements you're taking. I love this here. So yeah. So the other tip is start off the beginning of, just check mine, EPA DHA 720. Okay, nice. And for the GPA certification, I will say this. Sometimes, depending on what the packaging looks like, some companies may not put that little GMP certified label on there. Because it depends on what their packaging looks like and really what their marketing kit looks like. And sometimes they don't like to have that label on there, so you may have to check the company website. But a rule of thumb, typically most store brand models are not GMP certified. Is that just for USA? You know what? That's a really good question. I'm gonna have to look up that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to research that because I'm not sure what the process is in Canada or any of the other countries overseas. I know for a fact that Canada is a bit more strict, and honestly, I would probably trust the supplements that are purchased in Canada. Even if they don't say GMP certified, because I'm not sure what the process is, but I know Canada tends to be, a lot more. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're getting a lot out of it. I know that Canada tends to be stricter with that kind of stuff. So going back to the tip, a cup of warm water at the beginning of the day with lemon on it. Okay. Let me tell you something. The first thing that you put on your tummy, all oils are coming from 3 of the same refineries. Oh, okay. See, I was not aware of that. I'm not aware of that. But, again, the best I can tell you is make sure that it's GMP certified. That's the best thing that I can tell you. The thing with the warm water is, so check this out. The first thing that you put on your tummy in the morning determines how your body is going to deal with sugars for the rest of the day. Okay? So sometimes we wake up and we're super, super busy, like from the minute you open your eyes, right? And you wake up, you run to the kitchen, you make your coffee, you stop by some place and down a donut really quickly. And what happens is you crash up and down for the rest of the day. Because the first thing you put on your tummy determines how you deal with, okay, let's see. Metagenics, it's actually from Alyssa Vallejo, California. I will check into it. Yeah, definitely do that. And again, if it doesn't say GMP certified on the bottle, check the company website. There will be some information there. And my rule of thumb is if you can't see it on the bottle and you can't find it on the company website, don't use it. Don't try it. Just find something else that you can verify. Metagenius is okay. All right, cool. I'm not even sure. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that brand before. Metagenics. Okay, Metagenics. Okay. I'm going to have to see if I can look for that brand as well for some of my clients. So when you start off with the warm lemon water, it will settle your stomach because remember, you're coming off of an all-night fast. And so it will settle your stomach. It actually helps to calm your nerves as well. But it makes it a little bit easier for you to deal with whatever food you're about to put into your system. So again, that warm lemon water is really, really going to help you out. Plus, if you've ever had an issue with like bowel movements and stuff, if you do that warm lemon water at the beginning, like make that the first thing that you put on your tummy in the morning, then it makes it a little easier for you to have bowel movement. Yep, absolutely. Aids digestion. You are absolutely right on that, Michelle. Absolutely right on that. And it also makes it a little bit easier for you to have a bowel movement in the morning and for the rest of the day as well. So again, if you're trying to drop that belly fat, make sure that you're doing that warm lemon water in the morning along with a gallon of water per day. Okay. And the biggest thing is you're going to have to go to a calorie deficit, which is why you're multiplying your body weight times 10 and then multiplying it by 12. And a lot of people ask the same question. Does it really take all of that work? And I will answer the same way all the time. If you don't have any specific goals, then no, it doesn't take all that work. But if you have specific goals, then yes, it does take a lot more work. Another rule of thumb, if you're trying to drop that belly fat, when you make your plate, cut it, in kind of visualize cutting it in pieces. Make half of it whatever your favorite green vegetable is. I prefer to do green leafies. Romaine is pretty good. Spinach, I like spinach. I like bok choy. I really like bok choy. A lot of my clients like bok choy as well. Kale is a good one. Asparagus, yes, yum, yum, yum. And asparagus has got some really good vitamins and nutrients, and it's got a decent amount of protein in it as well, to help you with that as well. Some people like to do kale. The only thing you've got to be careful about with kale is that my favorite with garlic. Yes, I like garlic and pepper and a little bit of lemon squeezed over them. They're really good like that. The thing with kale is that it tends to be a little bit rougher on the tummy. Okay, so if you're gonna do kale, totally fine, because kale has lots of protein and it's got some good iron. It's really, really good. You just want to make sure that you cook it down a bit. Some people like to do kale raw. I wouldn't necessarily advise that as a normal part of your diet, but try to cook it down as much as possible. It's a really good vegetable. You just have to minimize that gut scrub type stuff. Frozen kale in smoothies, yes. So you chop it up in the blender or in your NutriBullet. I gotta get a NutriBullet. I heard that thing was pretty cool. And add some fruit, some almond milk, a little bit of honey to it. And a cool thing that you can do is if you're making like a shake before Vitamix, love it. Okay, if you're making a shake before a workout or after a workout, guess what you can put in it? Ice cream. And what's crazy is it will actually help you burn belly fat. Says, yeah, some of the raw advocates don't understand that. Yeah, it's true. Raw food, and again, if you're trying to lose belly fat, this is a really good conversation. Raw food is, man, it's, oh, she says can't eat dairy. Oh, well, what about almond milk? What about almond milk? And coconut milk. You can add those and a little bit of honey. And, it's not ice cream, but, it's kind of the same. Okay, so for the raw foods, man, if you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that because your tummy is a sensitive thing. It's a sensitive thing. And if you put it through too much stress, your body's going to release all kinds of hormones and that are byproducts of stress and all types of substances. You may not digest the food as well. So I wouldn't necessarily, especially if you're trying to lose belly fat, I wouldn't necessarily jump headfirst into a raw diet. Do a little bit at a time. Get that tummy used to that stuff. And let's see, it says in Chinese medicine, it's cold and slow, and that slows digestion further. Yes. That is absolutely true. That's absolutely true. But now let me ask you this. Are you talking about the raw foods or are you talking about the ice cream? Because if you're talking about the ice cream, if you're doing raw foods. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, it will slow down your digestion. And the crazy thing is some of that stuff can get stuck in there and start to really, really rot and start to produce toxins. And toxins hang out in belly fat. They hang out in fat cells, period, but they really, really like to hang out in belly fat. Diverticulitis, yes. Absolutely right. So they really like to hang out in belly fat. So just be careful. that warm water is going to be really, really important. So if you are on if you do a raw diet, then you need to drink some warm lemon water with all of your meals. Okay, give yourself that extra assistance to help with that digestion. Let's see. So we talked about the calories. We talked about the water. We talked about the protein. We talked about oh, thank you. I'm glad you're getting a lot out of it. She says, awesome suggestions. I find apple cider too. Yes. Oh yeah, man. I live by apple cider vinegar. Oh my goodness. So check this out. Okay. If you ever get like a stomach bug, says warm water and lemon at night. Okay. Yes. Right before bed. Like that's really good right before bed too. It really helps with that fat burning process while you're sleeping. So, okay, so check this out. If you get a like a belly issue, like a bug or something, or if you have like get constipated or something like that, if you take 2 big spoons of apple cider vinegar, just like the raw one though, the raw apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. I think Bragg's makes a good one, and it says raw apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, and it's kind of got like a stalk or some kind of, I don't know, something branchy looking thingy in it. But that will really help with that. And another cool thing you can do, again, if you have issues with digestion, so here we go. So here it goes. It's going to take a little bit. Take a little bit of coconut oil. Okay. You're going to heat it with some chopped vinegar. Add some turmeric. Okay. And then you're going to heat that up. I have a little small pan, and I heat it up. Right? Heat it up just a little bit until you get that nice aroma from the garlic. That's kind of how you can tell that it's good to go. So now you've got your coconut oil and your garlic and your turmeric. Then you're going to take it off of the heat. You're going to put a splash of olive oil and 1 or 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And you can do 2 different things with that. You can drink it. And I promise you that will help it gets stuff moving. Thanks for those hearts. It will get some stuff moving in there for you. And the interesting thing about turmeric that's really cool is that if there's anything in your tummy that's not supposed to be there, and it even works with some parasites sometimes, if it's not supposed to be there, turmeric and garlic make the environment really uncomfortable for any foreign, I don't want to say creatures, but if you have like parasites, or maybe if you have a parasite or a little bug or something, it makes it really uncomfortable for that stuff to stay in your tummy. But if you drink that, and it will help to start clearing that stuff out. The biggest thing with dropping your body fat and your belly fat is, again, it's going to be your diet, but making sure that you're getting your antibacterial, all of that good stuff. Yes, absolutely. Is making sure that you keep those toxins out of your body, and whatever you've got in there, you got to flush them out, because they like to hang out in fat cells. So you've got to flush that stuff out. You know, I see people all the time, they'll go to the gym and they'll work really, really hard, and they'll drink like 8 ounces of water. Dude, that is not good enough. Okay. You got to down that water. The other thing that can help you, drop your belly fat, and just fat, because in order to drop the belly fat, typically belly fat is the last fat that leaves, especially for girls. Guys, they've got testosterone, which is a natural fat burner, so they have a little bit of an easier time, but especially for girls, right? So the belly fat is going to be the last to go. You got to drop fat all the way from head to toe to drop some of that belly fat. But when you work out, right after you work out, if you drink like ice cold water, man, that speeds up the fat burning process. And why does it do that? Okay, so check it out. So when you've been working out, your body's hot, right? You're sweating. It's hot, okay? And so your body is expending this energy to cool yourself down. So when you take this cold water, it's like a shock to your system, and your body wants everything to be like your 98.6. So your body's got to use this energy to bring that water down to a temperature that's going to be comfortable for your body. And that speeds up that fat burning process, man. I'm telling you, it does. The other thing that you can do, again, this is not just, remember, if you want to drop belly fat, you got to drop fat from head to toe. Okay? You got to drop fat from head to toe. So, oh man, what was I? Okay. What you want to do, if you're going to work out as part of your regimen, thanks for those hearts. If you're going to work out as part of that regimen, you want to do a weight training routine first. And then what you want is when your body goes into recovery, you want your body to be using your fat calories as energy for your recovery, right? So that's one of the reasons why your meal planning is really, really, really important. Because if you work out and then turn around and go eat like, half a pizza, because that happens sometimes. People say, oh, I worked out, so I get to treat myself, or I've deserved this. So you work out and then you go eat just this whole big pile of rice, potatoes, and all this other kind of stuff. Guess what? You just stopped your fat burning process, because your body is trying to repair. And what you want to do is you want your body to use some fat calories to help you repair. But if you turn around and put all that heavy stuff on your tummy, then your body's just going to use the carbs. Why? Because carbs are your body's preferred energy source, and it's the easiest source to get to. It takes a really long time to start even mobilizing your fat stores, like 45 to 50 minutes for the average person. Okay, to even start mobilizing your fat stores. So if you've done a weight training workout or like a killer workout, and if it's 45 minutes to an hour, you've just started mobilizing your fat stores at the end of your workout. Oh, thanks for that red heart. You just started mobilizing your fat stores. So if you turn around and like stuff a whole crap load of big, huge freaking carbs down your belly, not to say that you don't need any carbs, because you need your carbs. Okay, carbs are good. Okay, don't take away the carbs. Okay, don't do the no carb diet. But you've got to be strategic about how you do it. You don't want to stuff yourself with them after, because you will slow down the fat burning process. Your body will use those carbs and it won't even mobilize the fat anymore. Yes, I do. I do weight train. I'm a bodybuilder as well. So weight training is a huge part. Okay, so carb cycling. I like carb cycling. But I do carb cycling. I would do carb cycling a little bit closer to competition time. A little bit closer to competition time, because that's one of those things that you got to play with. Some people can go a little bit longer without a refeed, and some people need a refeed like every 2 days. Excuse me. Okay, she says, oh, okay, I'm doing powerlifting. Okay, yeah, awesome. So you're gonna do some pretty heavy weight training, so you can get your strength up for that. But I like carb cycling, but I like carb cycling for a purpose. I don't think that the average person should carb cycle. It's a bit of a challenge to keep up with. And you've got to be really strategic and really careful about that. So that's how that goes. What other questions do you guys have? I hope that helps you guys out with creating a fat loss diet and what it truly means to burn fat and all that stuff. Okay, she says confusing. Okay, what's confusing? Tell me what's confusing. What do we have questions about? What's confusing? Oh, carb cycle. Yeah. So for the average person, what's the best, brown or black rice? Oh, okay. All right. I love talking about rice. Thank you so much. Rice is one of my favorite topics. I'm kind of weird like that. Okay. There's a rule of thumb, and it's true. It's honest. Thank you so much for those hearts, the brown and the peach ones. It's true and it's honest. The darker the food, the more nutrient dense it's going to be. Okay? So, there's so much here. Yes. So yeah, the darker the food, the more nutrient dense it's going to be. So you've got your brown rice, your red rice, your black rice. Your black rice is going to be more nutrient dense. Okay? Your red rice is going to be more nutrient dense than your brown rice, and your brown rice is going to be more nutrient dense than your white rice. So to answer that question, black rice would probably be the best bet. And it's really pretty too. Like it's black in the bag, but when you cook it, it comes out this really pretty okay, it says, I don't eat many grain products or processed foods due to tummy issues. What are best carbs for me? Because I love black rice. Okay. All right. So she says she doesn't eat lots of grains. So what are the best carbs for you? Best carbs are going to be, now let me ask you this. How, before I go further, how do you feel about beans? Because everybody's a little bit different with beans. How do you follow a modified paleo complex? I wouldn't consider what I do a modified paleo, because some of the foods that I eat would not be considered part of the paleo diet. I take the foods that I like and I figure out a way to make them work as part of my plan. So when I write nutrition plans, for example, for my clients, some of my clients have nutrition plans that are closer to paleo because that's the kind of stuff they like. And then some of my clients have plans that are further from paleo because that's the kind of stuff they like. So I take what I like, or I take what my clients like, and I try to make it fit into a plan that's going to work for them based on their metabolism. Okay, so you said that you can handle some beans. Okay. So she said, that's me. Some aren't true paleo for me. Depends on my belly. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so black beans, man, black beans are like a lifeline. You know, that's a go-to right there. Black beans and red beans. And then you may want to look into just getting a lot of your carbs from vegetables. Now, what's going to happen? Yes, soaked. Yes. Please soak them. Please soak your beans before you cook them. You may want to get some of your carbs from vegetables. A lot more of your carbs from vegetables. Now, what happens typically with that? People say, okay, I'm hungry a lot more. And I totally understand that. But if you've got stomach issues and just certain things that prevent you from eating grains, then you just got to do what you got to do. What about potatoes? Are you okay with potatoes? Like sweet potatoes, and what's the other one? It's like a potato, but it's not. I can't think of it right now. I want to say it starts with a T. Oh, man. I can't think of it now. Turnip? Okay, she says yam. Okay. What about turnips? How do you feel about turnips? Oh, okay. Good night. Good night. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Okay, so you're great with turnips. So you may want to do some combinations of yams and turnips. I make a sweet potato hash. I call it a sweet potato hash, but I chop up some turnips and some sweet potatoes and fry them up and kind of make like a pseudo type hash brown. Eat lots of beets. Yeah, beets and Brussels sprouts. Yes. And grilled Brussels sprouts are awesome sauce. Thanks for those hearts, guys. And if you think anybody can benefit from this, definitely share this. That'd be pretty cool. Yes, beets are awesome. Beets are awesome. Try them if you've never tried them. Some people are scared of beets. What other questions do you guys have? Any questions about, let's see, weight loss or muscle building or workouts? Any other nutrition questions, metabolism-based stuff? What other things do you guys have? Okay, sprouts and chicken broth with bacon, garlic, and onions. Oh Oh, yeah. Yum. Now, see, I like turkey bacon. And, of course, you know, there are people that are like, oh, that's not turkey bacon. It's just turkey thigh meat. Okay, fine. Whatever, man. It looks like bacon. Roast in the oven. Ah. How to deal with midnight food cravings. Okay. That is a good one. All right. So we got a couple of things going on. All right. So here's the thing with midnight food cravings, or even late night food cravings, 1 o'clock in the morning food cravings. So a couple of things could be happening. So the sensor in your body for hunger and thirst, they're so close together. Sometimes your brain gets mixed signals. Sometimes does the weight training people do actually work? You know what? We're going to talk about that. Don't let me forget that. We are going to talk about that. I love talking about weight training. Okay, so you may be dehydrated. And that is so true. If you're not drinking enough water during the day, man, come midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, leptin. Oh yeah. Your leptin receptors are crowded. Crowded and clouded. So I'm going to talk about leptin. But first, you may be dehydrated. Number 2, like Michelle said, you may have an issue with your leptin. So this is the thing. So leptin is a hormone that is released by your fat cells. Okay. And that's the hormone that sends the signal to your brain it's supposed to tell your brain when you're hungry and when you're full. Okay. That's what it's supposed to do. So when we're born, that hormone is totally fine. Okay. As we go through life, we're breathing in toxins, we're eating bad stuff, we're stressing out because stress has, the byproducts of stress. I'm going to do a completely different webinar on just the byproducts of stress, but man, that throws our hormones so far out of whack. And so that hormone becomes unbalanced. It's not functioning properly. And what will happen is you will get a signal that you are either always hungry or that you're never hungry. And both of those are like super bad. We're told to eat all of, eat all our food on our plate. Man, not so bueno. And I know that there's this idea of not wasting food, but guess what? If you take the food from the plate and put it in a Tupperware bowl and put it in the refrigerator and eat it a little bit later or maybe the next day, you're not wasting it. But man, that overeating, it'll get you every time. So it's one of those two things. It could also be stressed, or it could, thanks for those hearts. It could also be that you are not feeding yourself enough during the day. So here's a couple of things that you want to do for the late night cravings. If you're not allergic to nuts, nut butters, almond, cashew, peanut butter, that affects the receptors, yes, it will affect the receptors. And so there's two sides to this, right? So we've got the release of the hormone, and then we've got the receptors for the hormone, right? So you've got one or two issues. Either you've got receptors, but you're not releasing the hormone, so the receptor has nothing to accept. And what happens is, like, physiologically, when that happens, your body says, we never get this hormone. So why do we have these receptors? So it starts phagocytosing those receptors. So they're no longer available on the membrane, right? And then let's say you go through something else. Now you start releasing the hormone. Guess what? You phagocytosed most of the receptors. And now you've got hormones swimming around, but no receptor to accept it. So very important. And I know this is off topic. I'm going to get back to the waist training and back to the midnight cravings. Very important to understand that if you are dealing with any type of hormonal imbalance, and it's affecting your weight loss or your ability to gain muscle, it will take time. Okay. It is a balance. And it's not just a balance of, okay, I've got enough of this hormone, I've got enough of that hormone, I've got too much of this hormone. It's a balance of course, the amount that's being expressed, along with the receptors. It's kind of like if you don't use it, you lose it type thing. So that stuff's going to take time. Okay, so for the midnight cravings, the nut butters are going to give you just kind of, thank you, I'll keep track of that. Awesome. The nut butters are going to help out a lot. Two tablespoons of nut butter, and some like sliced turkey. If you have like some sliced, not just the turkey breast, but if you've got like some turkey legs where it's got a little bit more fat on it, that will help, because the carbs and the protein from those butters and that fat together, they actually help you deal with those cravings, and they help you sleep better too. So I hope that answered your question. And then, over time, it also becomes an issue of discipline as well too. There's so many things that we can talk about. I do a metabolism-based webinar. I have one that's free on YouTube. You could find it on my Facebook page as well, at / a stronger, the letter U fitness, a stronger U fitness. And I think there should be a link to my, to that webinar on one of my posts, take you to YouTube to watch that. But there's so many things that come into play with those midnight cravings. Some of it could be a dopamine issue. Dopamine is a hormone that we it's kind of like our reward hormone, and if you're used to pacifying yourself with food, every time you pacify yourself with food, you get a shot of dopamine. It causes an addiction. Like it's a real live addiction. Dopamine is very addictive, and so if that's one of the issues, again, it's going to come down to discipline. So hopefully that helped. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the waist training. Okay, this is the thing with waist training. Okay, there is a difference between waist training and waist cinching. And the problem is that a lot of people try to use waist cinching as waist training. So let me tell you what waist training actually is. If you have ever known anyone who has had a C-section or some type of abdominal surgery, thanks for those hearts, like a tummy tuck or something like that, the surgeon a lot of times will offer them a compression garment. Okay. And the reason why they offer them that compression garment is because as the body begins to heal, oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. You're awesome too. As the body begins to heal, your body is trying to figure out where stuff goes, right? So if you've had a C-section, your body is trying to figure out, okay, where does this stuff go? And so if they're not compressing after their C-section, then all that stuff could kind of fall pretty low. Okay. But what the physicians are providing is a compression garment. And what it does is it compresses on the obliques, kind of in that waist area. It compresses a little bit on the back and compresses a little bit on the front. Okay, so it should be pretty comfortable. It should be a little snug, but it should be pretty comfortable. And what that does is as the body starts to heal, wearing that garment will tell the body where stuff goes. Waist cinching, when they use the really, really tight corsets, is only supposed to be like a temporary fix. Like if you're trying to get into a dress and stuff didn't work out with your workout plan, or you're just not there yet, you got to put that waist cincher on so that you can get that hourglass effect. Totally cool. But that's not what you're supposed to be using for waist training. That's the stuff that makes the organs do all the funny stuff, like move way up or way down, because that's not even compression. Like, that's almost like torture. Like you're squeezing. I've seen some of those corsets, the ones with the strings that they pull. Man, they pull those things and oh man, I look at it and I'm just like, oh my God, like you're going to die. It's so bad for your back and everything. So yes, if you are using a compression garment, then waist training is awesome, because what are you doing when you work out, right? What are you doing? Like if you're lifting weights and you're trying to tone up your body, right? You're breaking your muscles, you're injuring them. Well, I mean, not injuring them, but you're breaking them. You're doing stuff to them. They have to heal. So when they're healing, everything's trying to find, where it's supposed to go. So yes, over time, it can help shape the body. But this is the thing. You got to be patient with it. You got to be patient with it. Okay. It's not going to be 2 weeks. It's not going to be 3 weeks. It's not going to be 4 weeks. Just like with your workout plan or with your nutrition plan, where they say give it 12 weeks at minimum, you got to give it 12 weeks at minimum. So hopefully that answers your question. So who else? Anybody have any other questions about health, fitness, nutrition, workouts, anything like that? Cool foods to eat. Also, I'm taking some votes. I like to do metabolism-based meal planning webinars. So my next one, I wanted to deal with a particular metabolic issue, and so I'm taking some votes on that. I'm going to continue taking votes until Saturday, and that way it'll give me a couple of weeks to put the content together for the webinar. But I've got votes for diabetes diets so far. I've got 1 vote for Hashimoto's disease, and I've got 2 votes for hypothyroidism. A couple of people said hypertension, cholesterol. So if you guys have any opinions on that, anything that you want to vote on that, then let me know that as well. You can even post them on my Facebook page too, / a stronger, the letter U fitness, and let me know what your vote is going to be so that I make sure that I'm providing content that you guys want to see. Hypothyroid. Okay, so that makes 3. That makes 3 for hypothyroidism. Thanks for that, Michelle. What will be the best workout to start for a person who sits most of the day? All right. Let me ask you this. How much time per day are we talking about that's available for that person to work out? And are you working out in the mornings, in the evenings, or in the afternoons? Yeah, let me get the answer to those questions, and that will help me better determine what to tell you. So how much time are we working with? Is it 15 minutes? Is it 20 minutes, 30, 45 minutes? And is it morning, afternoon, or evening workouts? Let me know, and then I'll be able to give you some suggestions on what to do there. But gotta go and see. Okay, thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate you. Says leave started yet? Good night, Michelle. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for the heart. She said, leave started yet? I'm not sure if I quite got that one. But flexible with time. Okay. All right. Okay. I have one more question. Do you have access to a gym, or are these going to be workouts that are done at home? Home. Okay. So, a couple of things you want to get. Get some resistance bands. Get a jump rope. A mat. Like a yoga mat, workout mat. Some good weights for you to have. 5 pounds, 3 pounds, 8 pounds, and 10 pounds. Those are really good ones to start off with. They're pretty cheap nowadays. And they're really cheap if you buy them online. And so you want to start off with some of the basics. Push-ups. People sleep on push-ups. Man. And for somebody who hasn't had a lot of workout experience, you can do the modified one, the one that you do on your knees. But that is definitely a good one to start off with. Jump rope. As far as wanting to work the abs, I would say doing mountain climbers. Mountain climbers is going to give you kind of like a 2-for-1. So you get that ab workout, but you're also going to get some hip motion as well. Get that heart rate up and going. Burpees is a good one. Lunges and squats. Let me tell you something. Lunges, thank you for those hearts. Lunges and squats are a girl's best friend. Best friend. If all else fails, lunge and squat. I'm telling you, lunge and squat. Shoulder presses, bicep curls, tricep kickbacks. And you can do these in any type of combination. Okay, you can do these in any type of combination, because what you're trying to do right now in the beginning is you're just trying to get yourself started. You know, if you're used to being sedentary, you don't want to push yourself too far, too fast. You're just trying to get your body used to some of the basic movements. Again, push-ups, bicep curls, tricep kickbacks, some lunges, some squats, some mountain climbers, power walking, doing the jump rope. Jump rope is excellent. That's another one that people sleep on, is the jump rope. That jump rope is some good stuff. And what else was I going to say? And you can do deadlifts. So if you've got your dumbbells, you can do Romanian deadlifts. She says, I'm a double Dutch champ. That's awesome. Man, kudos to you, man. I never was able to learn how to do double Dutch. I'm lame like that. I missed that train. But that's awesome. So yeah, jump rope is some good stuff. And here's a cool thing that you can do. So let's say you say, okay, you know what? I'm just getting started. Don't want to push myself too hard. You can do something like 10 push-ups, followed by 10 tricep kickbacks, followed by 10 shoulder presses, and 1 minute jump rope. And run a circuit like that. Like, if that's say that's the only thing that you want to do today, run that circuit like, I don't know, maybe 10 times. Back to back with very little rest, or, rest in between, start when you feel comfortable. Just don't rest too long. That's a really good way to do that. And again, you just want to get started with some of those basic movements. Thanks for those hearts. I really appreciate it. What other questions do you guys have? Who's got some questions? He says, great. Awesome. I'm glad that it was helpful. What other questions do you guys have? Or does anybody have any questions? Fat loss, nutrition, post-baby workouts, breastfeeding workouts. I'm actually going to do a webinar on that. How to breastfeed and still have really good optimal nutrition. I breastfed all 4 of my kids. So I'm excited to give you guys that content. I just got to put it together. Like, give me a few weeks, because I've got so many other things in the fire as well. But I want to talk to some of the breastfeeding moms, because I know that's a huge concern, is being able to work out and eat well and still be able to keep that breast milk. Thanks so much for those hearts in red. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure that you guys get that content too. How to lose chest? Okay. Are we talking about breast, or are we talking about just the like wideness here? She says, if I'm berated breast. Okay. So here we go. In order to lose the breasts, now let me say this. There are some people who, no matter how much weight they lose, they just naturally have big breasts. So you've got to take a look at yourself. That breast size. What was it before you put on the weight? And when you're looking at clients and stuff, when you're looking to help people out, ask them that question. How big were your breasts before you put on the extra weight? And how big are they now? Because you want to determine how much of that mass came from putting on weight. Okay? And if it was a situation where they had medium to moderate sized breasts before putting on the weight, and then they had large breasts after they put on the weight, then as you start to drop the weight, you will start to drop the mass in that area as well. Thanks so much for those purple hearts. So you got to ask yourself that question. Now, in terms of just losing in that area, you've got to lose all over, because what are our breasts comprised of? Fat. It's compressive. It's made of fat. So you've got to drop body fat. Hey there. Good evening, Iris. We're just here talking about fat loss and weight loss. Okay, she says I. She says K. Oh, okay, she says K. Okay, awesome. I'm glad that was helpful for you. But yeah, I'm just here asking questions about, or answering questions about nutrition, workouts. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach. I've got concentrated studies in biochemistry and human metabolism. I do metabolism-based meal planning. So I'm just here answering questions about fat loss, weight loss, workouts, meal planning, good foods to eat, that kind of stuff. So since we were talking about fat, that just came up. Okay, ladies, and I think most of us on the line are ladies. But if we're not, guys too, hey, okay, the low fat diet, don't do it. No, bad. Okay. Says, do you recommend the paleo diet? So I don't, when I do metabolism-based meal planning, I take the foods that my clients like to have and we put them in the way that they can have them. There are some things that are not allowed in the paleo diet that I think are important to have. That's just my opinion. I like sort of maybe like a, I think somebody said it earlier. It wasn't like a paleo combo. They didn't call it that, or a pseudo paleo, but it's like, it's paleo, but it's with a few other things added. And I know that there's different, every organization is different about what paleo is. Like some plans allow for things like peas, and then some plans say that you can't have them. Some plans allow for sweet potatoes, and then some plans say that you can't have them. So I really just kind of take what my clients like and add some things. Atkins, no. Yeah, I will do a straight up no to that. Yeah, I have no problem saying no to that. N to the O. That'll be a no. Okay? That'll be a no. And I'm going to tell you why. She says, right, I've done Atkins. Yeah, that will be a no, as in even a hell to the no. I'll even put that on the end of that. Because brings me back. Okay, so these low carb, no carb diets, these low fat, no fat diets, they're no bueno. Don't do it. Did you know that it takes fat to burn fat? It takes fat to burn fat. Yeah. And it's like water, right? So if your body is depleted of water, you're going to retain water. Best way to get rid of water retention is to make sure that you have lots of water, right? She says, I have plenty to burn. Laugh out loud. So, and I'm not saying that you want to take a diet that's, 75% fat. However, depending on the situation, I have had clients where in order to drop their body fat, we've had to put them on diets that were like 55% fat. Because it takes fat to burn fat, right? And so if you want your body to burn fat, you've got to give it some, because the body is slick, It's kind of like, oh, wait a minute. You're taking that away? Oh, okay. I'm going to hold on to some of this stuff. Yeah, buddy, because you're not going to get me, because I don't know the next time I'm going to get it. It's the same kind of thing with fat. Your body's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, I need fat to live. Oh, no, I am going to hold on to this because she has decided she's not giving me any fat. It says, just join. What do you think of Wiggy B12 with amino acids and HCG injections. I lost 36 pounds since March 5th and have not felt better. I'm 50 pounds overweight. Okay, so Iris, I'm going to get right to you. The person who just put in that comment. Okay, so now one thing about Tony, let me tell you guys about Tony. When you ask me a question, I'm going to give you a real answer. Okay? And sometimes I shoot from the hip. So I'm going to tell you right now. B12, I don't have a problem with it. You need it. And it's pretty sad because a lot of us are so depleted in it that we have to go and get the shots. Like some people get so depleted in B12 that your body can't even wait for you to try to build it up with your diet. You've got to go get that stuff shot straight. Get that shot in the butt. Get it straight into your bloodstream. Let's get it because your body needs it. So I think if used in proper context, B12, totally cool. HCG. Okay, let me tell you something about life. Most plans with the HCG diet have you on a 500 calorie diet. Okay? I'm going to be real and straight up. At 500 calories, that's starvation. Are people going to lose weight with HCG? Absolutely, because you're only at 500 calories. Yeah, you're absolutely, because you're only at 500 calories. So the question becomes, thank you so much for those purple hearts. The question becomes, am I losing weight because of HCG? Or am I losing weight because I'm in near starvation mode? You put somebody on 500 calories, they're going to drop weight. Now, this is my experience. Every single person I have worked with, and I have had to work with a lot of people who have rebounded from the HCG diet. Okay? Every single person I've met has rebounded, and it's not good. And it causes so much metabolic damage. There was one lady, I worked with her, and this is when I was working at a commercial gym before I went into business for myself. I worked with her for almost a year. I mean, we worked hard, as in fine-tuning her meal plan. I mean, her workouts were so specific that we could not miss a rep. It got that specific because we had to rebuild her metabolism from the damage that was caused by her going on the HCG diet. So I am not a proponent of the HCG diet. I am not a fan. She said, I lost 65 and gained 70 in 8 months on HCG. It's the truth. Like you are in starvation mode. You're starving yourself. And when you do that, yeah, you're going to drop weight. It's going to come off. But baby, the minute you put some more real food back into your mouth, it doesn't. Now, there are some plans. That's what I need, is to rebuild my metabolism. Okay. So that's gonna take some time. And I think that was the one with the comment that you said you were 55 pounds overweight. That's gonna take some time. Okay? It's gonna take some time, and it's gonna take some patience, and you cannot give up. Okay? You cannot give up. You cannot give up. You've got to believe in the idea that you can rebuild this thing, because you can. Our bodies are amazing. We can tear them up, and if we do the right things, we can fix them right back up. Okay? So you've got to be strategic about your meal planning. You've got to be strategic even down to the foods that you eat when you are stressed. Okay? I want you guys, if you I cannot remember my YouTube handle for the life of me, but I'm at A Stronger You Fitness, the letter U Fitness.
And it's on my Facebook page / A Stronger You Fitness. Find that webinar, because the first part of it is up. It's available for free on YouTube, and it talks about metabolism based meal planning. And you're going to get so much information out of that. Like watch that, because there's so much that you got to know. But you've got to even fine tune it down to the foods that you do and do not eat when you are stressed. Okay? Because there are some things that when we get stressed, we really, really want to have. But guess what? It's only giving us more harm. I mean, yeah. You got to think about that. She said, okay, I'll watch it tonight. Yeah. And yeah, watch it. And if you've got questions, my email address is going to pop up at the end of that. Shoot me some questions with regard to that. But yeah, you have got to even pinpoint your meals down to not eating certain things when you're stressed as well. But if you can stick to a plan and be diligent with it, and it doesn't have to be restrictive. This is the other cool thing. Thank you so much for those hearts. This is the other cool thing. So meal planning does not have to be restrictive. Like, it doesn't have to be this horrible experience where I can never have the things that I like. It doesn't have to be horrible. It doesn't have to be. You just have to understand your metabolism. You've got to understand your body. You've got to understand how your body breaks down stuff. And then you've got to take that stuff and put it in a way that allows you. Okay. But if you can stick to it and be diligent with it, I promise you can rebuild. You can rebuild that metabolism. You can rebuild that metabolism. Get yourself a nutritional beverage. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for those hearts. Get yourself a nutritional beverage that has an adaptogen. An adaptogen is going to help you to help your body to better deal with. You're welcome. Better deal with changes in your blood sugar. And so, so rebuilding metabolism, managing that blood sugar, that's going to be a huge important part of being able to rebuild it. But you can do it. You can totally do it. It's totally doable. I've seen people do it, and it's super duper amazing. Super duper amazing. Yeah. So, what other questions do you guys have? What else you got for me tonight? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Rhonda. Thanks for those hearts. What else do you guys have? Any other questions? I'm going to watch the video. Okay, cool. Watch it and then let me know. Watch it. But yeah, because part 1's up, available on YouTube. So watch that. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Iris. You're awesome too. You're awesome too. Anybody have any other questions? Or, anything you want to ask about? Oh, you too. Have a good night. She says, I have to digest all the info. Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. It can be a lot. But it's overwhelming maybe in the beginning. Like, maybe in the beginning it might be overwhelming, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. Thanks for those hearts. What other questions do we have? What other questions do you have? Talking about fat loss, weight loss, workouts, meal planning, nutrition, all that kind of good stuff. Vitamins, if you guys have any questions about that kind of stuff. Or supplements. Or any of that kind of stuff. Let me know. Anybody have any questions? What did my biochem professor used to say? He used to go, questions, comments, screams of fury and pain. Anybody got those? Anybody have those? No? Okay. I guess we're good. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, you can follow me on Facebook / A Stronger, the letter U Fitness. Follow me on Twitter, A Stronger You, all that good stuff. And yeah, so until next time, guys, stay strong, stay beautiful, and always, always, always work towards becoming a stronger you. Peace out. Bye.